Imagine building something so massive, so mysterious, that 4,500 years later, people still argue about how you did it. Welcome to ancient Egypt, the land of pyramids, pharaohs, and some of the wildest secrets in history. But how did this civilization rise? What made it so powerful? And why did it eventually disappear? Strap in, because we're about to cover 3,000 years of history in just 5 minutes. Our story starts over 5,000 years ago, when the Nile River was basically a life hack for survival. Every year it flooded like clockwork, leaving behind rich, fertile soil, perfect for farming. While other civilizations were still figuring out fire, Egyptians were out here inventing cities, writing, and social hierarchy. By 3100 BCE, a guy named Narmer, or maybe Menes, because history loves confusion, did something legendary. He united Upper and Lower Egypt, creating the world's first nation-state. And just like that, Egypt was born. And what do you do when you create an entire country? You crown yourself pharaoh and tell everyone you're literally a god. Pharaohs weren't just kings, they were seen as divine rulers, believed to be living gods who controlled everything from the Nile's floods to the fate of their people. Some left behind legacies so massive they still shape our understanding of history. Djoser, for example, revolutionized Egyptian architecture by commissioning the first pyramid, a grand monument designed by the legendary architect Imhotep. Then came Sneferu, who perfected the art of pyramid building, transforming early, unstable structures into smooth-sided marvels. But the most famous of them all was Khufu, the man behind the Great Pyramid of Giza, a structure so mathematically precise that modern engineers still debate how it was constructed. Yet Egypt wasn't just about building pyramids. It was a highly advanced civilization, with a government capable of organizing vast food supplies, a religious system with over 2,000 gods woven into daily life, and a military powerful enough to defend its borders for centuries. For more than 1,500 years, Egypt stood as the world's greatest superpower. But even the mightiest empires don't last forever, and Egypt was no exception. Over time, internal struggles and foreign invasions began to weaken its dominance, setting the stage for one of history's greatest declines. Nothing lasts forever, not even an empire that stood for over 3,000 years. Egypt had a long history of bouncing back from invasions. The Hyksos took over for a while, but the Egyptians learned from their advanced warfare and eventually drove them out. The Assyrians came next, followed by the Persians, each leaving their mark on Egypt before being overthrown. But in 332 BCE, Alexander the Great arrived, and Egypt became part of his growing empire. After his death, his general Ptolemy took control, founding a Greek-Egyptian dynasty that lasted for nearly 300 years. And that brings us to Cleopatra, the last true pharaoh. She wasn't just a beautiful queen, she was a brilliant ruler, a linguist fluent in multiple languages, and a political mastermind. Unlike her Ptolemaic predecessors, she actually embraced Egyptian culture, presenting herself as the reincarnation of the goddess Isis. Her relationships with Julius Caesar and later Mark Antony weren't just romantic. They were strategic alliances aimed at keeping Egypt independent from Rome. But in the end, Rome was too powerful. After Octavian, later Augustus, defeated Antony and Cleopatra in 31 BCE, Egypt fell under Roman rule. Cleopatra, rather than be paraded through Rome as a captive, famously took her own life, marking the end of an era. Egypt, once the world's greatest superpower, was now just another province of the Roman Empire. But even though the empire fell, Egypt's legacy never did. Its influence is everywhere. Its architectural style inspired everything from European obelisks to the Washington Monument. Its writing system, hieroglyphs, evolved over centuries, influencing the development of modern alphabets. Even the concept of preserving the dead, whether through mummification or elaborate tombs, left a lasting mark on cultures worldwide. And then there are the pyramids. Despite thousands of years of erosion, looting, and shifting sands, they still stand, testaments to an era that refused to be forgotten. So, did ancient Egypt truly die, or did it achieve what every pharaoh dreamed of? immortality. And that's ancient Egypt in 5 minutes, from its rise to its fall and everything in between. If you want more history that's fast, fun, and packed with insane facts, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. Thanks for watching, and remember, history is never boring when you tell it right.